I don't know. It's just like that's just how life was. It's just like he was just like I don't know. Like the sensitivity, I never really saw it. I guess I saw it more when my little sister was born. My youngest sister was born. When she was born, I think that softened him up a lot more. But other than that, like he was just like Loki hard. Like he was a dick Loki kind of.
He still looks like it.
Well, he's not, I want to say he's
well, no, he does that. He does that blank stare.
Cause he just
and he does that stance that you do, where he's just kind of like got his hands
ready for action at all times,
and he's like leaning back. A little bit.
I don't want to say he's racist.
What?
On another note, welcome to the podcast, guys.
No. But being so serious.
I'm not racist. I'm just saying he looks menacing.
No. Not
talking
you.
About
not
his brother.
Oh, your brother. Oh,
he
okay.
does not really fuck with white people.
That's okay.
Oh, that's why he looks at me like that.
Part of Mark. Guess what color Mark is?
No, but he just doesn't. It's like it's an uneasiness unless he really knows them.
No, I'm scared of white people and I'm half white. The fuck.
Sometimes I feel like white people. No, it's just dead ass. Like you understand your history, understand your culture. And he's just like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be fucked over like that.
You've never seen a white dude walk down the street and look at him and go, shiver me timbers.
No, I haven't
I used to do that when I first met Phil.
But I don't know.
When I went into Phil's basement for the first time, I was kind of like that.
Shit, what?
Shiver me timbers?
I don't understand why my basement is...
Because
shivering your timbers.
Your basement from an outside perspective, is a fucking madhouse. That's why.
It is a madhouse.
I've had the best moments of my life.
After the first time, you're like, holy fucking shit. Like,
there's a lot going on.
Am I allowed to be here right now? Like, what is going on?
The only thing that I would say about Phil's home is like not even the garage. Garage is whatever. It's just the fact that I don't know if I should be saying this, but y'all don't keep your doors locked.
Nigga!
But I'm just
Tyler
saying.
got doxxed one time and now everyone's getting doxxed. Yeah, but Phil lives in a white neighborhood. It's okay.
So I'm just like, it was weird going, because like, as I met more white people through Lake Catholic, it just was like a natural thing that they just didn't lock their doors.
Well, see, what? Tyler, as to where...
Wait, Mark, you're the only white person I know
Mark's
that
not
locks
white.
their doors.
What?
For the record, I do lock my doors. Do not come to my house. You'll get stomped out.
Hey, all I'm going to say is that if you do make it through that door, there's many guns in that house.
If you don't say somebody's name in the house, listen.
There's been plenty of times I walked in that bitch and like just go down.
Oh, we knew.
Yeah, we said they had heartbeat sensors, whole Warzone loadouts ready for you.
All of a sudden you just hear beep, beep.
Tyler walks in at the wrong time. There's just a red dot that wasn't there a second ago.
But no, like I legit go down the
you
basement.
You guys got a cat?
No, I'm being so serious.
No, nigga, that red dot is for you.
I've been in. Like when I first walked in his house, it was like just like, okay, I guess this is what this is. Like it kind of looked around, everybody was there, just chilled. I don't remember the first time I came to his house.
The very first time that I went to Phil's house. No, it was the second. The second I went and I was pouring a drink. And yes, we were underage drinking as high schoolers.
Allegedly.
Fuck it, I'm grown now. It doesn't matter. And I was pouring a drink. And Phil's family is like looking at me crazy. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are we not supposed to be doing this? And Phil's like, no, you're just doing it wrong. You got to add a little bit more stuff in there. And I was like, what the fuck?
The first big memory that pops out of Phil's home in the basement is hands down easily. We were listening to fucking
Boy Pablo. It was my 18th birthday, right?
Yeah.
Because I could just buy shells. Because we went to the gas station after Barrio and I bought shells when it was still legal for 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
We toked it a little bit and then Phil got me so stoned that I couldn't move. After I told him that I didn't want to smoke anymore and he said, no, it's your birthday. And then I laid on the ottoman and watched this music video like 6 times.
Yeah, in my defense, it was his birthday.
Nigga, what? In my defense.
Yeah, so you just keep opening his mouth and shoving the joint
Oh,
there.
no, I would not go that far, but like...
Suck!
I'll bully him a little bit.
If you don't do it, you a bitch, though.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I've had really good moments in Phil's basement. It's been
daylight savings time.
Been a tight.
Oh my god!
I'll never forget daylight savings time.
That was great.
What happened?
Me and Jacob were fucked up playing Mario Strikers
on the GameCube.
Everybody else was in the jacuzzi, and they came out at 2 a.m.
Because we were listening to the whole No Name album. Yeah, it's in the basement.
bathroom.
Kind of.
It's in the
Okay.
bathroom.
Oh, okay.
I don't-
No. I got you.
I don't
got
have
you.
like a hot tub. I have a large bathtub.
It's a two-person
that has
jacuzzi.
A
jets.
jacuzzi is a bathtub with jets.
Okay.
Basically,
a hot
it
tub
was
is a
It's
a larger
It's
accessory.
a two-person fucking bathtub, and we fit 9 niggas in that bitch and listened to a whole No Name album during daylight savings. And we went in at like whatever daylight savings time changes. We went into there, and then it hit 3. So yeah, 2. We went in
2
at like
a.m.
2 something. We went in. When we came out, it was like 2:15, and everyone was
Everybody
like,
was
"Bro, we
fucking
listened to a
sloshed.
whole album. We talked hella. We smoked in the bathroom. How the fuck is only 15 minutes past?" And then nobody knew it was daylight savings till like an hour later. And then Mark's girlfriend was like, "No, you guys are dumb. It's daylight savings." Because she was asleep. She woke up and was like, "Why is everyone being loud?" And we were like, "Because it's been 15 minutes."
Motherfuckers were in there thinking like they like it was a hot tub time
I
machine.
thought we
in
got
that bitch.
hyperbolic
And from
time
an
chamber.
outside
And people,
perspective,
people thought like, oh,
Exactly.
maybe people thought like, damn, we time traveled
went
in
to
this
a
bitch.
fucking portal.
That's crazy. We ain't even in the same. We ain't even in the same dimension
I'm
anymore.
not gonna lie, that was some good weed. Because I felt like I was.
you almost
like,
drowned,
whoa.
didn't you?
Yes. No.
You almost drowned.
Yes.
Like he came out and said, "Guys, if I'm not outside the jacuzzi in like the next 30 minutes, come in and save me." And then he went in and was gone.
There have been times though. Shout out Jake's house. One time I got really fucked up at Jake's house, and I'm really buoyant, so like I float in any water no matter what, even if there's seats.
Another white person. Don't lock the door.
Ooh.
Never.
Oh, Jake.
Yeah.
Fucking I was in the hot tub and I just started floating away from my seat, just trashed, and Mark grabbed me and had to put his arms around me because I kept going under the
And
water with my face.
I don't know if you guys know what the weight of this man feels like underwater, but once I got him to like the surface of the water, I was struggling. I was like screaming, "Yo, somebody come help me." Because I was about to go under.
I can swim though. I'd have been cool.
You were incapacitated.
I could float. Put me on my back.
No, you were not able to float. Because I was pushing you up to the surface of the fucking hot tub.
Fuck you guys. Welcome to the Ohio Boys podcast.
Yeah, what's up? Welcome back.
We're
Welcome
on
back.
Episode 5.
You can count.
5. Not really. I went to Harvey.
Shit, damn.
Beep.
Just fuck them
Yeah,
guys.
we're
I
gonna
guess.
beep it out again. This is the second time in a row that I've name dropped, and now the tech guy has to beep it out because I don't give a fuck about anybody.
But welcome back. Glad you came back. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Follow us on YouTube at Ohio Boys, at the Ohio Boys Podcast, and also follow us on the SoundCloud. Also, while you're following on YouTube or listening on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the page. Also, follow the SoundCloud page so that way you can get notified.
Link in the description.
Actually, go to our Instagram. You'll find a link in the description
We
there.
got a whole fucking link tree. Y'all better use that shit.
Yeah, I did not create that shit just to create
I
it.
put it in the YouTube description.
Okay, cool. Last night. You guys want to talk about last night first?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Fuck
Yeah.
it. It was
Last night, if you missed the show at the Odin, whatever the fuck it's called, you're a bum. That shit was raw.
Odeon.
I don't care what it is. Big shout out to Young Cap for putting that shit together. Performances that really impressed me. Alyssa Higgins, Carter as always, Stargazer, and Cassidy Harris. Y'all were raw.
Who are the Rage guys?
That's Invasion. I was going to shout them out next.
Oh my god.
They were raw. Invasion had that shit shaking. Shout out to y'all. Big shout out to y'all.
Never did I think I was gonna mosh pit at a hip hop 90s event
Exactly.
in a fucking Roadhouse
That shit was crazy.
ass bar.
Oh, also, who are the DJs? Whoever DJ'd the East Coast versus West Coast battle, that shit was raw
Yeah, they
too.
killed it.
Y'all
I
killed
wish
it.
they opened, honestly.
Shout out Trey Smith, another one of the DJs.
Trey
Yeah,
Smith
Trey
held
Smith
it down.
was running the axe, right?
And shout out all the vendors that came out. They had Let Them Know Clothing, Fresh, what is it? $19.99. And then we had Cleveland Custom Clothing, the people who made our shirts that we gave out at the show.
Wow, that's crazy. Tyler was not at the show. Well,
He was
Tyler
kind of
did
at
not.
the show.
Tyler was very late to the show. Tyler had family things to go attend to, and then I showed up, and then I looked at everybody and said hi. That's pretty much what I did. It was a very fun night, very good night. I fucked with it. But again, thank you to everybody that came, showed out, supported, appreciate it. Much love to everybody involved.
Hopefully you like the shirts.
Yeah. Also, just shout out if you were there. Supporting local artists is really important because mainstream shit is cool, but you get a lot of cool stuff on the local level and at the underground level. I think we should show more appreciation
You
towards
can't
them.
mosh pit at a Drake concert.
I mean, you can, but
That's
if you
fucking
could,
cap.
You know,
Get fucking banned.
be out of
No,
place.
you won't.
I don't know.
That's
Drake,
like saying you can't mosh pit at a Travis Scott concert.
that's different.
That's
Drake and
different.
Travis Scott are different. Travis Scott looks like he throws microphone stands at fans. Drake looks like
He
he blows
does.
kisses to men.
Exactly.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I blow kisses
Drake
to
would
men
definitely
sometimes.
have a security detail kick those people out, though.
probably.
That's
Also,
cap.
why are you moshing to Drake music? Like, what song? That
Got the
is-
drink in me going back to back.
Back to back sneaking. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been listening to a lot of his shit again.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Shocker.
It's crazy. Okay, fuck you guys. But there are a few. There
He
are a
is
few.
the Drake enjoyer.
Energy is a good song that you can most definitely go hard to.
Oh,
Not really.
What
you
is
can't
it?
mosh this. No.
Is it
Yes, you
Amaretta?
can.
You
Amaretta
could.
or Omerta?
but it's kinda
I wouldn't.
goofy.
Not
I
Amaretta.
mean,
I would-
it wouldn't
I would
really be
definitely-
that goofy. It doesn't have to necessarily sound like angry or incredibly intense for you to mosh to it,
Well,
as
Phil,
long as
you,
it's
you
very
wanna
high
mosh
energy.
with no music, honestly.
There are different types of moshing. though.
If people were
Agreed.
just
That is a
crowding-
very good
They're
thing
like
to
the
point
Wall
out.
of Death. I'm not gonna do at a Drake show. I'm not gonna do the spin shit, but I'll get around and like bump into some niggas and tee up. And
Yeah.
like, cause like the way that the mosh pit worked last night was we were hitting into each other, and then like instead of being really aggressive about it, we all came together and just formed a jump circle. Really, but like you've been to Warped Tour, you know those don't turn into jump circles; they turn into hands.
So Jumpman, another great
No,
Drake
this
song.
dude
No,
heard
no,
heard
no.
jump and was like,
Yes, Jumpman
I mean-
is a really good like. If
Say
if,
a word and Tyler can name a Drake song for that word.
trash.
Can't name one. Can't name one.
Stumped.
Actually, honestly, if I were to say one of his worst songs, probably Grease with him and DJ Khaled. Probably one of his garbage, like trash.
I have a
Absolute
question.
hated
So
it.
who calls the song Grease?
It was kind of
That's
a
a nasty name.
You can look around and find ridiculous song titles
What
in
was the-
damn near any
Wait,
genre.
what was the Mom Jean song that we listened to last night?
Oh, I left my towel at my friend's house and then they moved. Part 1. That whole subgenre, Midwest emo, amazing song titles with almost any band that you find.
Yeah, but that's the aesthetic of the Midwest punk.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty goofy.
Like, yeah,
Kinda
goofy
sad.
song names and album covers and single covers and art and shit like that. Like, that's what they do.
So man, what have you guys been up to?
nothing. Just spending time with family, chilling, like relaxing, working. You know, it is what it is.
School, you know. I saw that Spider-Man fucking trailer.
That trailer
Oh my
did not
God.
move anything for me.
What are you talking
It had
about?
the original
when you
Doc
saw
Ock.
Doc Ock and then the fucking Green Goblin grenade, it did nothing for
When
me.
I saw the
No.
Green Goblin grenade, I think I got a little hard.
I was like, ah,
A little happy.
Yeah,
he's coming.
because like we talked about this on the Super Tyler episode. I love the Green Goblin. I love him.
He was a great villain.
Which one?
William Dafoe. I don't really like the Hobgoblin and the comic ones because they are actual goblins. I like that nigga looked like a Green Knight with like the teeth and the super grenade and shit.
Again, Doc Ock, the Green Goblin, none of that shit really moved. I'm like,
You
okay,
look like you liked Electro.
no,
Doc Ock is one of
I
the
don't
best,
like-
one of the best villains.
You don't like
in
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
I don't like Spider-Man. Like, not really. Like, I think he's one of the most overrated superheroes there are.
I agree with Tyler on this one. I do think Spider-Man is overrated.
Spider-Man has the best villains.
I don't think he has.
I
has-
disagree.
No,
I like-
mean,
Who has better
I'll say-
single villains?
Captain America.
Captain
No.
America's villains are all Avenger villains that Spider-Man shares with him.
Mm,
I would
Captain
not say Captain
No.
America.
Cap-
Captain
they
America
share.
doesn't even really have all of the Marvel like
I would say
Avengers. Anyone
I would
that
say
has
I would honestly say I think Batman has pretty good solo villains.
Batman's a piece of shit. Fuck
I-
Batman.
No, he does have some good villains.
I
He does
think
have some
Superman has really good
No.
solo
Superman does not.
villains.
Superman is the most overrated.
It's the most predictable Superman. Superman is the most predictable superhero. Period.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that he's just invincible and there's no vulnerabilities to the man.
Goku beats
Except
Superman.
There is a clear
That is
vulnerability to
cap.
him.
Except for the kryptonite, which you have to
No.
Did you
okay.
guys know? Wait, real quick. Did you guys know that pink kryptonite turned Superman gay, and there was a comic about it in 2002?
That's amazing. But also, on another note, do you guys remember the cartoon show Crypto the Super Dog?
Oh,
Yes,
that
with
was
the
a
cat?
fucking-
Yes, and he like the bad guy was like an iguana or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
I loved
man.
that show.
You know, speaking of animal villains, you remember Blowhole from Penguins of Madagascar?
Yes, I remember Blowhole.
He was a dog. He had an eye patch, and he used to just go.
And he would just call him blow. Remember, Julian would just say, "Shut up, blowhole." Julian, get in the blowhole.
I don't think he told Julian
No,
to get
he
in
did.
the
He
blowhole.
did. I specifically remember him saying, "Julian, get in the blowhole."
What is it? Rule 34.
Sheesh.
Oh, jeez.
That was probably the most sus cartoon.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Dog had a whole foot fetish. He was really trying to grab at the king's feet every episode.
Oh
Mort.
man, loved Mort. He was great.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't watched Penguins of Madagascar in forever.
Yeah,
Can't
but
re-
you,
can't
you
really
remember
remember
Mort
the show.
being a stand though.
I'm not gonna lie
You
to
don't
you. It
remember
really
the little
don't.
lemur dude? He was the little brown one.
The king.
No, the
No,
one who
no,
liked the
his
king's
little-
feet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And who was
Alright,
Maurice?
alright.
Was raw too.
Maurice
just the
was
middle
raw.
one?
He was the brains of the operation. Maurice, he kept everything together.
He made sure everyone
He
stayed
had a-
on their
He
shit.
had a fucking
He was
a
the only one
tyrant
that wasn't
and
a
a little
fucking
kid
idiot.
with a foot fetish.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was.
The
he
little
didn't have a
kid
lot
was
to
a
work with.
terrorist, Loki. The small one,
He was a terrorist.
He would,
If anybody got in the way of his feet, listen.
War
You ain't-
crimes.
You ain't surviving. 0% chance.
talking about war crimes.
Jesus.
Oh,
Hold
yeah.
on.
That's-
Whoa.
I don't know
Which
if
war
that's
crimes
the-
do you want to talk about? I'm down for this.
Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul tonight.
Oh man, Tyron Woodley's gonna commit some more crimes.
Jake Paul, quote me on this. This is coming out after the fight. Jake Paul disintegrates T Wood. Even if he doesn't knock him
people are
out,
gonna laugh at
he hits him and he gets punch drunk at least 3 times. Quote me on that. Hold me to it.
I'm
can't
calling the Tyron probably drops him third, either in the third or fourth. And I say middle to
How many
end
rounds
third,
are they going
8.
6 rounds or 8?
8.
Full 8.
What 8 5-minute rounds?
No, not 5.
no.
They're
They're
like 3.
2 or
Jake Paul
3.
can't go 5-minute rounds. Neither could Tyron Woodley. Like that many rounds.
Yeah, honestly, most boxers, even the ones competing at the very highest of
Couldn't
levels,
go 5 in a round.
shouldn't go like what? Because some boxing bouts can go up to what 16, 12
Yeah.
rounds.
Yeah, but that's why they have shorter rounds is because they have 16, 18.
Even then, it's still honestly too much because I feel like you'll find a lot of situations where boxers at any level will start just taking rounds off so they don't gas out later in the fight. And I mean,
Yeah.
you'll see that across any promotion
Any
of
fighting
martial
sport.
arts.
Yeah,
But I
Mike
feel
Tyson
like
used to do that.
that's
No,
Mike Tyson
didn't-
absolutely didn't
he
do
did
that.
not
He
have
did not
to do
need
that.
to do that.
Well, yeah,
Mike
because he never
Tyson's
would-
opponents were lucky to make it 90 seconds.
Have
into
you ever
the
seen-
fight.
When he started losing,
But
He
that's,
lost-
he started
that's
losing
a
a
part
little
of
bit.
strategy though, because like a part of you going into camp is conditioning for cardio.
Nigga,
you don't.
Mike
you can't
Tyson
carry-
didn't need cardio. He sent people into orbit with uppercuts.
yeah, but when
But
he lost,
but he did have longer fights, and the longer the fight goes on, especially the heavier you are
But that's
for a heavyweight.
But that's
you're
any
good.
heavyweight.
Although
That's why you see
Mike
a lot of
Tyson
big
was
finishes
usually
in heavyweight.
smaller than most of his opponents.
that's true.
Yeah, he was just
height wise,
built like Tyler.
I'm gonna say height wise, he was smaller, but like if you look at his body, like he wasn't smaller. Like you had legit Butterball or Butterbean or whatever his name was. Like
Butterball.
Mike Tyson fought very closed in and just ready
Yeah,
to explode
because he
at
was
any
short,
moment.
because
He
he
had a
was
very
short
tight-
and he had no
He's
length.
always leaning in, got his elbows really
Because he
close.
was short.
Very explosive, trading
he's
in the
like
pocket.
5'9", 5'10", and he had no length. While every other heavyweight at his time, especially if you look at heavyweights nowadays, they're probably 6'8" and above,
Anthony
and they have
Joshua, fucking-
Joshua
and they have fucking
Fury, not Fury,
football.
Fury's like 7 foot. Joshua and Wilder are like 6'4" up.
They're no
What did you say?
Wilder's.
Fury's not 7 foot.
Fury's like 6'11", 6'8".
They're all.
I'm fact checking this.
They're all extremely
Fury
tall.
is above 6'8". I can tell you that.
You're
So-
probably
Wilder's
right.
like
He is fucking huge.
6'4".
And like another thing with Tyson Theory, he's almost 300, almost close to 300. I think like 270 or 280. He probably walks around at 300 easy.
I walk around at 300. I'll whoop Tyson Fury's ass.
He's 6'9".
Oh yeah.
Make it happen.
Tyson Fury is 6'9".
Make it
So
happen.
how-
I'll beat Tyson Fury's ass.
Deontay Wilder,
I'd pay to see
6'7".
that.
Anthony
Hey,
Joshua,
Tyson
6'6".
Fury, if you ever hear this, catch me at Rocket Mortgage. Put a payday on it. You not about it.
Nigga, listen,
I'm trying to get the podcast money, nigga. Shut up.
nigga,
Tyson Fury,
what
catch me in the ring.
Nigga, we have to put most of that to either your medical costs or your funeral.
No, it's cool. Just give me a cardboard box. My niggas gonna eat. Fuck it, we ball.
Shit, nigga, we cremated niggas
It
and
is
everything.
what it is.
Spread my ashes at the Q. You know what it is.
You know this man's
my
dedicated
nigga
when
died
he
here.
wants to get CTE for the podcast.
Nigga, CTE.
I want
Niggas
CTE
going-
for my family.
Hey,
So you can become bipolar and shoot him like Chris Benoit did or something like that.
Jesus. Hey, Chris Benoit did not kill his family.
he did.
What? Yes, he did.
No,
He
I-
what
very
happened to
much.
them?
I
so
feel
did.
like I honestly feel like someone came in and framed him just because they know that he was crazy. Chris Benoit made a lot of enemies in the locker room. If you guys like do his like,
it's
read
all
his documentary.
fake.
No, but
No.
Mark,
That's-
no,
Enemies to
because
the point of assassinating a whole family.
But
and
when you're-
pinning a
but you
group
know-
of
hold on,
murders
but
a
you
man?
know-
what kind of WWE beefs go that deep?
no, there are things
Bret
do go
Hart's-
that deep.
Bret
Hart's
Hart's,
feud. Anyone that Shawn
HBK.
Michaels is
Did
feuded with.
anybody die from Bret
No,
Hart's
but
feud? Did
that's
anybody get
different.
assassinated?
But that's different.
Worst
You don't
I've
know.
ever seen is
You're
somebody got
talking about
tossed in
the
lake.
murder of children and some lady.
But it could have been anyone else. He was rich, so he was in a rich community. You know how people are when they have money. They act different. I'm about to act different when I get rich. I don't know none of you niggas.
Oh,
We
wow.
have an opening on the OBP podcast.
Fuck y'all. Start my own podcast.
But,
Pound cake and friends.
pound cake.
Shut up,
and friends
intern.
is
You're
wild as fuck.
contractually obligated to stay in with OBP until you die. You die.
He said you get pegged.
Bring it on, bitch.
All right, look. Yeah,
So-
Tyson Fury. We got our second fight. Me, you, in the main event, co-main event, intern versus Mark Asmar.
That's crazy as fuck. But again, back to the Woodley Paul. I think Paul gasses out probably. Now that you're saying that, it's gonna be more like 2 to 3. Probably
Why are
he
we
gasses
wasting
out.
time? Don't. Who cares? Because this
A lot of people.
All I
A
know
lot
is
of people care.
who's winning
Woodley. I think
by what?
probably I think he gassed. I think knockout by the 4th or 5th.
Phil.
I'm also gonna say Woodley by a finish, but I think it's gonna come later. Like if we're going 8 rounds, probably like the 6th.
I think Woodley takes him in the 4th.
I think Jake Paul gets it in the mud. I don't care what round he gets it. Straight Ohio boy over here. We're the OBP, and y'all really switching up for some bitch. Fuck Tyron Woodley.
I'm not
what?
switching up. It's just that
I never no. Fuck
I would
Jake
be
Paul.
kind of switching up to root for Jake Paul. I've liked Tyron Woodley a lot.
You're a
before.
UFC guy. That's different.
Fair.
Not really. It's just like if you know fighting, I don't think Jake Paul has never gone later than I think the second,
I don't
early
know why.
second at that.
Why hasn't he? Because he's knocked niggas out.
Nate Robinson is the only one. No. Ben Askren
Wait,
was
whoa.
the first round too,
But
right?
this is my whole
Yeah.
thing, and I argued with Mason about this, Phil's brother. Just because he knocked out people that weren't boxers doesn't mean that he's not a fighter. Because at that time, Jake also wasn't a fighter. You have to look at growth here. When he fought Nate Robinson, he was also just some bum who was rich and had money.
I'm not saying that he's not a fighter. I'm just saying that one of the bigger things about, especially where no matter if you're talking about boxing, UFC, or none of like that, but if you haven't gone those later rounds, you don't know how that wear and tear feels on your body.
But Tyron
You're
Woodley
not
doesn't
gonna-
understand that wear and tear either. He did it during MMA. I said it
But
earlier.
he's exerted more force, more
Tyron
effort, more
Woodley is a
energy.
professional.
Wrestling.
But Tyron's a professional in one area.
Hold on. The term professional is really loose because professional really only means that you get paid to do it. So Jake is a professional boxer.
Amateur boxer.
Amateur boxer.
Amateur
No.
boxer.
Amateur boxers don't get paid.
Amateur
Yes, they
boxers
do.
do get paid. They
No,
don't
they
get
don't.
paid.
Peanuts.
They do not get
They
paid
don't-
what
they-
a professional gets
Oh,
paid,
I'm
but
sorry.
they get paid.
When was the last time you saw an amateur boxer on Showtime Boxing?
Like we just said, they get paid, but they don't get paid like this. Amateur boxers do
Jake
get
Paul
paid.
is not a professional.
Just
Or not
because
an
he-
amateur.
He has
He
enough
is
clout to
amateur.
run his own
I'm about to
pay-per-views.
say,
That's the
if
only reason why.
that's
Oh, you
the
can do
only
anything.
reason.
You can
if
do
he didn't have
anything
enough
with enough
clout,
clout.
he wouldn't even be on TV.
You can become a professional in anything by having enough clout and money.
Okay,
Doesn't
so
make any sense.
Yes, it does.
he's not a
There's
professional.
merit to being a professional. You need to have a resume to be a
Hold on.
professional.
Okay, whoa. Is
Okay,
Kim?
time out.
No.
Because if you were to look at college sports, they are amateurs, but they're playing primetime games on primetime television.
And they were getting
so
duped.
guess what? If there are amateurs, this just because he's on Showtime doesn't mean anything.
Whoa,
they
exactly.
Showtime also promotes and
Wait a
shows
minute.
amateur boxing. So does HBO boxing.
Wait a
They
minute.
all show amateur boxing.
Hold on. Okay, look, I have two points to that.
ESPN. If you were to look at any big UFC thing, they're fight nights. Those are professionals.
Those are different.
Those are
It's different.
not amateurs. Anybody that you could say that they're earlier in their career, but by that point
And
they
that
will have
means that
had
they're lower card. Okay, I have two things to that.
They're
just
still,
hold on.
Just
they're
because
still
they're on the
unproven.
prelims does not mean that they are an amateur.
But they're more unproven fighters than the people that are in the main event.
Yeah, typically people in the prelims are working their way up.
That's what I'm saying.
They're,
So
they're fresher.
my thing is Jake Paul doesn't deserve respect as a fighter until he actually fights more than one real fighter.
Okay, but
Ben
he's worked. He
Askren-
can only do so much at a time. What do you want him to do? Fight them all at one time? This isn't Mortal Kombat.
No,
We're not
but
walking up to things.
You can take on credible fights. You can take on
He's
box.
asked credible fights.
He's an amateur, so he's taking on the
He's
fight.
not
that-
an
Take on
amateur.
amateur
He is an
boxing.
amateur.
He's a pro boxer. Okay,
He
what
would
I was
get
trying to say
dusted by
earlier.
amateur boxing.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes,
Yes,
he
he
would.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he
Yes,
would.
he would.
Maybe I
A
don't know.
true.
Okay,
a
look,
true-
Tyron Woodley is an amateur boxer. He's never boxed before in his life. Not on
Okay, that's
Showtime, not
fair.
anything like that.
That's fair.
Two
I don't
things to
think-
point out.
Just because you're fighting on Showtime does not mean that you're not an amateur.
You're a pro boxer. If you're bringing in
not.
money.
That's not how that works.
If you don't take
Amateur
on
boxers
if you
make
don't take
money.
on real
You
fights, then you don't have credibility.
Okay, so what you just said, what I've been trying to say is you said college football players play big time, blah, blah, blah. They bring in money, this and that. They were getting screwed. That's why they can make money now. College football players are
But
as good
that
as the
still
athletes
does-
in the NFL. There are college
That's-
football teams that could beat Canadian football leagues. There are college football teams that could have beat XFL teams. There are college football teams that could beat AAF teams.
But the fact that
They are not
UCLA and
amateurs.
Hawaii gets played on ESPN
They
is
should
not
be-
the same thing
they should be
as
making money
Ohio
off it.
State versus Michigan.
But the completely different part of that is the colleges make the money. Like people from I could say if you said Bishop Gordman are just a group of really good amateurs because that's a high school.
But you have high schools that play on national TV. If you were to go, if you were to go to,
But you can't call them amateurs.
If you were to go to basketball,
the Little League World Series.
is on TV and they make money off of that.
Those
But guess
teams-
what? Guess what? Those players are amateurs. They're not professionals.
No.
But to your point, to what you're saying, since they're playing on a television network or something like that, they are professionals, but they're not.
What's the difference? What's the difference? ESPN is free, right? Is Showtime? This is a pay-per-view, Tyler. Can you go on ESPN and watch this fight? No.
I
you
do
can't,
not think.
because Jake Paul has
Just-
clout. That's the only reason why.
I'm about to say.
But like I said earlier, if you have enough money, if you have enough power, you could be a professional in anything.
don't
And
think
Chris,
that's
not
Chris
a
nodded
professional.
when I said that.
He's not a
That's
professional.
He's not
There's
a professional.
credibility to being a professional.
Well, even by your standards of he's not a professional, you could definitely say he's on the way to being a professional.
Yeah.
Whether or not he loses to Tyron Woodley, if he continues to pursue a boxing career, especially if he continues to call out opponents that are at least of Tyron Woodley's level.
Because Tyron Woodley he just retired. What? Maybe he didn't even retire. Like he just kind of left the UFC, right?
Well, no.
And he just kind of open to
He
whatever.
was cut from the UFC.
Right. So he's just kind of a free agent. So he's still a
Yes.
guy who can fight, and he has the ability to fight. Ben Askren was in the twilight if he had any fights left in him.
Ben Askren should not have come out of his retirement to go to the UFC after a hip surgery and all that, let alone to continue fighting past his
Exactly.
UFC tenure.
Plus, he was
To do a boxing match.
overweight. He clearly didn't train for it. He was not ready to train for a boxing match. If he was ever ready, I don't even think he'd ever be ready because the way he supposedly said he was prepping clearly didn't work. Tyron Woodley is the first real match with credibility that I will give him credit for
But
personally.
Jake didn't have credibility before Tyron or Tyron Woodley. Ben
He
Askren,
still doesn't have credibility.
Okay, but hold on. Look, his first fight His very first fight against Deji. That was a YouTube thing. That doesn't even count. That was an actual.
That was an amateur
boxing
fight.
But hold on.
Yeah, and he almost lost.
He did not almost lose.
He did
it was
almost
literally
lose.
unanimous. I'm not gonna argue about that. Then to box on Showtime, to do all this stuff, you have to get a license. So he is a professional
he had to
boxer.
get a license to box in that first YouTube event.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
It was an amateur.
All those
boxing.
people had
No.
to be licensed.
Those are
licensed
it's
by the
completely
local
different.
commission.
Exactly, the local commission, amateurs. If you are licensed
amateur.
if you are licensed by a local commission, that means that you fight locally. Once you get your professional boxing license, you can fight anywhere according to those commission's rules. Say I am a professional UFC fighter and I get my license, I can fight in Vegas and New York. Though the rules are very different in Vegas and New York, and Phil can vouch for that. People don't like fighting in New York because of the rules. Once you get that license, you are a professional. It does not matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how much this,
so
how much
then
of that.
we need to use a different word then.
He's an amateur. Like
I literally just explained to you how he's not an amateur,
he's an
and
amateur.
why is he an amateur? Because of his experience.
Okay, an amateur. Okay,
You could be a new coming professional. Like say, okay,
an amateur could be a type of professional boxer.
I don't really.
But he's not a star fighter. He's not a top. He's not a top
an
flight
amateur
fighter.
boxer, but he's a newcomer. He's low on the cards.
lacking professional skill or expertise. That's what
He
an
does
amateur
lack
is.
both of those things.
All right. Well, we've been going on about this for a while, so after a quick Google search, his last few fights, everywhere from the fight right before Nate Robinson all the way till now, have all been listed under a professional boxing record.
Dab me up on that. Thank you, because I'm not Google searching shit.
Wait, so what types of boxing licenses are there?
I don't know.
Is it just bam, you're professional if you show us?
Yes.
Like
You
is
have
it like
to-
getting
I
like getting your
don't
driver's
care.
license,
Yes,
right?
literally that. Yes, it's the same thing as your driver's license, except you're listed as a professional. And ask me how I know this. I watched, what was it, Rocky 5 or Rocky Balboa, when he was fighting the black dude to like come back in. He had to go to court. He had to get his license reinstated. He had to show that he was capable, that he wasn't using drugs, which no, just Jake Paul is juiced. I will admit that. That obviously didn't come into effect here because that nigga is jacked now, and he was not that jacked like a month or two ago. But he proved that he had the qualifications to be a professional boxer. Can you call him a newcomer? Yes. Can you say he's not qualified to be a professional boxer? Yes. But like I said, with money, you can be a professional at anything. Yes. Did he buy his way into being a professional? Yes. Is it shitty? You could say that, but is he a professional? Hands down, yes.
Okay. So not all states require amateurs to carry a license. So like being an amateur driver, like having your temps, it's kind of like that. You don't need a license in most states to be an amateur boxer.
But you need a professional license in all states to be a professional boxer. It is a federal thing.
The state of New York's application.
The
Let's go
fight's
New
happening
York.
in Ohio.
One who competes
I don't
for
think he's ever
money
fought in
prize
New York.
or teaches or pursues or assists in the practice of boxing as a means of obtaining a livelihood or I don't know. Wait, what is it? Pecuniary gain?
The definition of a professional boxer. The New York State application explains that the law defines a professional boxer as, quoted, one who competes for a money prize or teaches or pursues or assists in the practice of boxing as means of obtaining a livelihood or that's a big word. Feel like you would know that word.
Over 2.
So-
Basically, you make money.
Pecuniary
Literally.
gain.
So
or something
amateur
like that.
boxers make money. So anyone can be a fucking professional by that.
No.
By that.
Amateur
by
boxers-
That
Okay,
definition.
the paragraph right below that, it just basically says, oh yeah, you only have to pay a $10 fee and take a little test, and bam, you're a professional boxer.
Amateur boxers make money different
But there's
than pro
clearly
boxers
a difference
do.
between somebody who just drives on the street and a fucking Formula One driver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Jake Paul is not. He's
He's not a
he
Formula
has
One driver.
amateur level experience boxing.
He has amateur
because-
level experience, but he is a professional. It'd be the
Technically.
same thing as if someone from Formula
Yeah.
One, like an amateur who drives those cars, just got his license.
Jake Paul
and
is a
starts in
shitty
those
professional
races.
boxer. Jake Paul is a shitty
Okay, yes,
professional.
I'll
boxer.
let you
We'll
say that
call
as long as you call him a pro boxer, because that's what he is.
I'm
okay.
not gonna call him pro boxer.
You don't have
No,
to.
you know,
I'm not
pros,
arguing about this
pros
anymore.
different. Pros different.
Donda was ass. Can we get into that?
Sure, we can get into Donda.
Donda
Donda is
was-
released the morning of we recording this.
Sunday.
Boo boo. Donda,
August 29th.
Boo Boo. The coolest part about that album to me was the Donda chant at the beginning. And you know what? I feel like I wouldn't be so salty about the Donda album being dropped as if that Ruga was on it. I was really excited for Ruga to be on that album.
That's really just why you don't like the album.
That's
Ruga's
literally
not
why.
on it and your butt hurt.
Because I saw that Ruga was going to be on it.
I thought you liked Ruga.
I do like Ruga. I'm mad he's not on it.
He is on it.
No, he's not.
Okay, part 2.
Wait, no, because we looked up the track
part 2.
list.
Yeah, okay, part 2. He's on that song.
Donda might be good, guys. Donda might be decent.
I've listened to Donda. Lil Durk was on it.
It's an actual question.
Thanks, intern.
Hey,
Anyways,
intern, you have to text Tyler if you have to ask questions because you're not next to a microphone, and the sound guy's gonna turn around and punch you in your septum piercing. I'm not gonna be able to do anything about it.
That's cool. Back to what we were saying. Donda, it's all right.
No.
Wasn't that great. I would probably give it a 6 out of 10, maybe. I feel like it'll probably grow on me to like a 6.5.
What do you, okay, Phil, what do you rate Ye and what do you rate
Ye is
the last
better
one?
than- Ye is worse
No,
than Donda.
hold on, let me.
Whoa, what?
No, listen, Phil, what do you rate those last 2 albums that Kanye dropped out of 10?
I would also put Ye around the same place. I mean, maybe a little higher. Maybe it would start at a 6.5 and warm up to a 7.
And what about the Preach album? I forgot what it was called.
What, Jesus is King?
Yeah, Jesus is King.
Jesus is King? Well, I don't know, because I am not super huge into gospel music. So am I rating it by like just Kanye albums, or am I rating it, do I think it's a good or bad gospel album?
It's a Kanye album.
It's probably the
Garbage.
weakest album in terms of just
The
Kanye's
weakest.
discography.
My theory on Donda is that it's literally just a mashup of Ye and Jesus is King.
You were
Smashed
100%
together.
right.
I feel
You're
like
100% right there. Donda is legit Jesus is King, but more rapping. It just has more raps, more featured rappers on it, and it's just more rapping on it. But
Right,
this
and
is
it's
a
kind of a
gospel,
hodgepodge,
This is
kinda
a
like Ye
gospel.
too.
This is a rap gospel album. The last album, Jesus is King, I feel like was a more true to life actual gospel. He had the choir and everything like that. But this one, the
Great
production
gospel
that went
album.
into it, the production that went into this one, the just the sound of it. This was a rap gospel album. And if you want to say like talk about rap gospel, this is probably the best rap gospel album I heard. But rap gospel is really bad. So
How much rap gospel do you listen to?
That is a great thing to get into, because I feel like a lot of the negative criticisms that Jesus is King received is because of the lack of crossover between its audience. I feel like a lot of people that were excited about Kanye's music, they may enjoy a lot of the gospel samples in his music, but a lot of them will not actually go and do a deep dive into the gospel genre itself. And because of the lack of interest in that, I feel like that only serves poorly for Jesus is King.
Yeah, as someone who like listens to gospel music once in a while, I really enjoy that aspect of Kanye. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really get into gospel music until when did I move in 2 years ago? And
Yeah,
Tyler,
I wholeheartedly agree
Tyler
with you
started
on this.
listening to a lot of gospel music, and he put me onto a lot of gospel music, and I really enjoyed it. Music that I haven't heard since my childhood, like growing up cleaning and shit at my auntie's house, and like just being over there, because that music doesn't really get played in my household. But after like listening to the things that Tyler would play around the house, I grew an appreciation towards what Kanye was doing, and I really, really enjoyed that mix of hip hop into it.
I feel like Jesus is King as a gospel album is garbage. It's terrible. Terrible, I feel like is a good word. It's not a really good. Like I give the album Jesus is King like a 2.
Can I throw something in here?
Go ahead.
So I said this in the car on the way here, and everybody kind of looked at me stupid. But is Kanye just kind of like a folk artist, kind of?
No.
Is he going into that territory?
I wouldn't say
'Cause
that.
That's what I was
think
thinking.
that's a little. No, it wouldn't be folk. It would be more gospel than folk, and gospel isn't folk. I wouldn't.
No, especially this last album where it's more hip hop than gospel. I think it's starting to toe the line of maybe like a new folk evolution. Maybe I don't know. It's just a theory.
I
Just
mean,
me talking out of my ass, but
I would like to hear you elaborate on what makes you think folk
I'm
when
willing
you
to-
hear it.
yeah, I'm just-
because it's more is the way the subjects in the album. I've only listened to maybe half of it, but it's more of a grassroots level of subjects.
I'd
You know,
appreciate it if the tech guy stopped judging me over there.
what are you doing? Stop being an idiot.
I wasn't doing anything. He just looked at me. Crazy.
Well, judging by
allegedly. Shut the fuck up.
all the beverages you have over there.
I've had like 5 Pepsis.
But back to
Yeah, back to Donda being folk.
not 100%, but I think it may be like an evolution. Maybe it'll inspire something kind of, but
Okay.
it's I feel like it could be argued that it could be folk a little.
I don't think it's.
I
folk.
don't co-sign that.
It's just a theory. It's just me talking out of my ass.
I cannot give you a cosign on this one here. Folk. That's a reach. That's a reach. Hold on.
Wow, maybe Mark just had a hot take.
He did. It was the hottest, hotter than the sun in this bitch. Like, woo.
Listen, we could rewind to all of Tyler's hot takes.
I love Tyler's hot takes. They're very entertaining.
They're very entertaining.
But back to Donda. I think Donda is better than Jesus King. I think Donda is better than Jesus King, and I think it's better than Ye. I think this is probably out of the last 3, Donda is probably his best one until you get to the Life of Pablo, and I think it is not better than Life of Pablo personally. It is just one of those things that I personally listening to the album all the way through. It's like it has good parts, but the highs aren't really that high, and the lows they're not that low. It's like the ceiling and the floor is pretty in between.
I think the floors are pretty low.
I don't
As far
think
as
so.
production value, you're 100% right because Kanye's production value is always extremely high. But as far as the content in, like when I'm cringing in a song and I'm not really, like I'm probably the one who knows the least about hip hop. When I'm cringing at a song, it's gotta be bad. It's gotta be bad.
I would agree to that.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But to be fair, I don't think the production on this album was that good for Kanye. Like
that's what I'm saying for Kanye. But if it was anybody else, if it was a different name on this album, maybe that's a lot of other artists' top tier production.
Yeah, no, because look,
Kanye's worst production is better than a lot of artists' top tier production.
Who's the artist?
Yeah, that does depend on the artist in question, but I do think that is
producer.
There's not many. He's better than DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
Khaled doesn't produce the shit.
What?
Khaled is not a producer.
He kind of is.
He's not. He's a
Okay, I was gonna ask this earlier. What the fuck does DJ Khaled do, and why does he get to have albums? Like I could do that.
I thought that was
he curates in the early part of the of his career, so like the early 2000s when we were kids, he curated a mixtape. So like he had a mixtape playlist, like a mixtape series, not playlist, but he had a mixtape series, and like he'd just get a bunch of like kind of like underground and some big artists, and they would go on to his into his mixtape, and he would release it, and it did numbers. It did great.
What do you
played
mean
on
his
the radio.
Mixtape? It would just be random artists.
Yeah, random artists from the
all
city
right.
of Miami that he knew that would willing.
So he produced a mixtape.
So look,
not really, not produced in the sense of Kanye, in the sense of Kanye actually goes in and mixes it. He hires producers to do that. He himself is not a producer.
I'm gonna look up what DJ Khaled is. Let's see what Google says.
He's a bum. I really don't
He's
like
an
DJ
artist.
Khaled.
He's an
not
artist, but he's a
He doesn't do
I
shit.
can't think of the name.
DJ?
No, he's not.
He's not a DJ. He's nothing. Well, I really don't understand why he gets all this money to do what anyone could do. Literally, anyone who makes a good Spotify playlist is DJ Khaled at this point.
And there's a lot of people who make money off of curating and creating Spotify playlists.
His professions, according to Google, is number 1 is record producer, number 2 rapper, number 3 radio personality, number 4 songwriter, number 5 author, number 6 radio DJ, number 7 media personality. That's
These
what
are all
DJ
very
Khaled is.
kind of generic and same meaning terms, but he doesn't produce music in the same sense that Kanye producing music. He curates albums, he curates mixtapes. That is what his specialty is. He cannot rap himself. He cannot physically go into the studio and produce the album himself, like produce the beats and stuff like Tay Keith and like
So,
other
like,
producers like that.
All right, look, if I'm being honest, I might just be slow. Like I'm not
What's up?
understanding what you're saying. I'm not understanding still what he does. Like I know what he does, but like why is it such a big thing? Why is he
It
getting
sounds
paid
like
to do
Tyler
it?
seems like it seems like Tyler's
And, like-
basically saying he's a middleman.
Right, like I'm not even trying to come at you
He-
crazy, but maybe
he
you're just
facilitates-
explaining it bad, but I literally don't understand what he does.
It seems like he facilitates, like he creates communication between certain people to make an album happen, and then he slaps his name on it.
You are not completely wrong. That is exactly kind of what he does.
So he's a
I was-
thief.
Hold on.
I
I
wouldn't
was-
say that.
So he's a fucking
No,
thief.
There's
they
credit
give
to
him-
people who make things happen, but
What does
because
he
they
think-
give it to him.
I don't know if it's his
I would
song
say
per
this.
se.
It is and it isn't. He put his name on it.
He's musical Robin Hood.
Okay. All right. As far as I'm understanding
This nigga is literally Robin Hood's.
I think a fair comparison would be if the album were to be a movie, then DJ Khaled is the production company that made
Oh,
the
so
movie.
he's DreamWorks.
I feel like that's not a perfect allegory. But
just
it gets
said,
the point across.
You just said
But
that
they
he's the
produce-
movie company.
I will say
The
he's
production.
more
Sony.
He's more of an
So he's Sony.
executive. He's
Yeah,
more.
okay,
He's
I was
more
about
of an
to say,
executive
yeah.
producer. I
An
would say
executive producer is
he
somebody
d-
who's
yeah.
not hands-on with the project, but kind of just tosses out ideas.
So
Yes.
executive producer roughly translates to thief. So I want to be an
Basically.
executive producer.
You can
Hey,
put executive over any title and it makes it seem fancy, but it really could just be the same thing.
right? He's a. All right, look. Any local artists who listen to this podcast, if you want your music stolen, hit me up because apparently that's the way. Yeah, DJ Second Slice, what you want? Let me executively produce your next fucking album.
But no, he's an executive producer. He creates. I would say the thing with Khaled is when Ross was coming up, when a lot of Cash, Young Money, when they were coming up, he kind of came up with them. Like he kind of curated that entire
Was he like part
Southern
of the?
sound.
Was he part of putting Young Money together?
No, he
Was he
a
in
lot
Young
of
Money? Was he like a member?
no
He's a thief.
a lot of
He's
a lot
thief.
of there's a during that time. I want to say the kind of early late 2000s. He was a part of a lot of their bigger songs and a lot of their success. He was there and he was like present. I can't think of the song right now.
All I know.
No New Friends. He was a very big part of that. There's just a few different songs that in the early late 2000s that he was like that was on his album, that was on his work, that had Ross, he had Wayne, he had Drake, he had all these people, and they were like, oh yeah, we fuck with Khaled. And like he got his respect because of his mixtape series early on in Miami.
Jay-Z is DJ Khaled's manager.
Yeah, he's probably signed to a
Fun
label.
fact. Fun
Why
fact.
is he signed to a label if all he does is
Because
steal
he
niggas?
is an artist that makes labels a
To-
lot
to
of
be
money.
fair, yeah,
But he
his
makes-
name is on a
he
lot
makes
of
people
number
a lot of
ones.
money.
Look, I'm not gonna lie.
His
look,
name is on a lot of number ones.
Look, if you're gonna drop a single and it's gonna be number one, just let me yell DJ Comfy over that bitch.
yeah, because he took
That's all he does.
he took credit for Denzel Curry. I'm the one.
I've never heard him spit a bar in my life. Can he even rap?
I don't
Probably
know.
not.
He's just fat
No.
French
I don't
Montana
think
with
he
no
says
bars.
anything besides another one and DJ Khaled.
He doesn't rap. He legit doesn't make music. He doesn't really produce music.
He's just a
He's
big
an
nigga.
executive.
Just
He's an executive producer. That's
stop
exactly what he
saying
is.
that. He's a thief.
Whoa,
He's
he
an
said
executive thief.
he said I am the hip hop Quincy Jones.
Who is Quincy?
I don't know.
What do you
Quincy
mean,
Jones.
who's Quincy Jones?
Quincy
Quincy
Jones is
Jones?
Quincy Jones is a songwriter. He wrote. I think he wrote a lot of Michael Jackson stuff. I may be off there. It may have been another person.
So Quincy Jones was doing something. This
Well,
nigga's
yes,
not doing
yes,
shit.
But Quincy Jones, no. Quincy Jones was also an executive producer in the same sense
But he-
that Khaled is.
But
an
he was
executive producer.
executively writing songs. What the fuck is
But he
DJ
didn't write.
Khaled
He
doing?
didn't write a lot. He wrote a lot.
DJ
but at the
Khaled
same
owns
time,
a
he
sweatshop of
He
songwriters.
did, he did exactly produce a lot of albums.
DJ
not-
Khaled owns a sweatshop of genius
I'm
songwriters.
not commenting on DJ Khaled anymore.
But back to
back to who Kanye's production. Who else is he better than? Like famous producers.
I think there's a lot of. I would honestly say there are a lot of
Like famous producers that put their name on shit.
You know who's gonna be better than Kanye one day?
take you.
Mario Judah.
Cap.
I mean, I see the potential to what you're saying,
The
but I
potential.
don't think he will ever be able to capitalize on that potential in that way.
Not better as in better bringing in money. I think he's going to be better at his product will be better, but his product won't make as much money.
Are you talking about this guy?
Mario Judah,
Mario Judah is
as
raw.
goofy as he is,
Look at this.
is really good at mixing and producing songs.
Mario
I
His
Judah-
urge
production
you guys to Google Mario Judah
has
right
been
now.
wonderful.
Mario Judah is one of those dudes who takes nothing seriously except for one craft, and the one craft that he takes seriously, he's a dog at. I'm not gonna lie.
He dresses like O'Shea.
Oh my god.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a septum.
Oh my gosh!
Look, the first picture you see of
Looks
this,
like O'Shea.
he's making the same face. He's got a choker on with spikes on it.
Tough scene.
Dark skin O'Shea. Mario Judah.
No. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Honestly,
Oh my gosh.
back to Donda. I think
Mark your
that
file for that.
I think that Kanye. I think this album. I think it's a cool album. It's an okay album. It's not good. It's not bad, but it's okay. It's like right in the middle.
No.
It's a six and a half, maybe a 7.
No.
It is what it is. I think again the album. For me at least, the album was a flop. And number wise, when the numbers and stuff come out, it probably won't be.
The only reason that it
Number-wise,
flopped was because, well, not other than the fact that it was terrible, was because he waited so long.
There's
How
so
do
much
you-
anticipation.
How do you hype up an album for so much, given like so much anticipation, and then you release doo-doo?
You know what? You
Playboy
want to know
Cardi.
my theory as to why it took
There's
him
a
so
couple
long?
artists that do that, Xavier.
And I
Cardi-
want to ask every single one of those motherfuckers why they do shit like that.
Uzi,
Thank you for the Uzis. I cannot
Uzi's
stand Uzi's
last
music.
album was
not very good.
not that good.
Uzi
it was
has
a very mid
3
album.
good songs.
Uzi is a vibe.
Uzi has way more than 3 good songs,
Wait, hold on,
but
hold
I
on,
will definitely say that his last album, including the deluxe version of the album, which in and of itself was almost an entirely new album, neither of them were worth the wait.
Before we move on, I want one more hot take on Donda.
Go ahead.
And I also sent this in the car on the way here. And people were like, yeah, you might be right. So I feel like Kanye just came up with a song list, sent it out to some people, had them write their verses, and then he wrote his half on top of that. Or he just took multiple verses of, because it seems very hodgepodge. Like,
It is an incredibly...
it seems like you get halfway through a song and then it's an entirely different song.
Yeah, it's
But
very
not,
fragmented.
but not even in a Bohemian Rhapsody way, in
No.
like a nasty way.
Like a nasty way.
But
Yeah.
if you were to look at how a lot of artists do make music, only like there are some artists that would have their verse recorded and then will send it out. And then depending on what the verse he got back, he can be like, okay, this sounds nice, and I know I want to use it for this album, but I mean,
he
there's
did that with the
this
whole
song.
album.
But
Well,
again,
a whole
but that's
2.5 hour album.
And then that's why
It
he
is not
brought-
2.5
it's
hours.
an
It's an
hour.
hour and like 45 minutes.
It was the longest hour and 45 minutes. of my
Also,
life.
I feel like another thing to point out is this album, Donda, is very fragmented. It's very disjointed. It's kind of all over the place. There's a lot of beat switches, and everything kind of feels...
nasty.
I don't know.
Call
it's like
it nasty.
It's not nasty. I mean, it's cohesive,
Kanye.
but it's
not-
very
it's
disjointed.
nasty for Kanye.
We
I
have
wouldn't say
seen
it's
this
nasty for
progression
Kanye.
for years, even all the way back the Life of Pablo. That was an incredibly disjointed and all over the place album, and every project he's released since has been just as much, if not more, all over the place, disjointed.
because I would honestly say, hands down, I would honestly say like this last album, like Life of Pablo, like you had was it Father Stretch Your Hands Part 2, that switch from the original beat to the Panda beat, it was, again, that's what he does. Well, yeah, it was nice,
That was
but that's
beautiful.
what he does. Like,
I mean,
when I
mashups
listen, it wasn't a true mashup though.
Or
He
like
just-
even a beat switch.
But
But
yeah,
like,
look at-
that's
but-
normalized. That's something that could be executed well.
Right,
It's
look
kind
at
of
Travis Scott and Drake. That was beautiful. But what he did on Donda was not
like the
not
content.
It was
the,
too
even
erratic.
the content just switched. It wasn't just the beat. It wasn't just the production.
Also-
it seemed like the content just switched completely as well.
I feel like another thing is he's a perfectionist. He was trying to perfect it. Also, from what he just tweeted out a little bit earlier in the day, after the album came out is he dropped and said that Universal dropped the album without his knowing, without his knowledge, that he wasn't ready to drop the album. So I don't know how true that truly is. It could not be true. It could be a lie, but who knows?
Kanye's a serial liar.
Kanye, I mean,
He's
I wouldn't say it's just that he's a
kinda
serial liar. It's that this man is very
erratic.
He's very mentally ill. He's got like severe bipolar disorder, which has been documented. The man doesn't take his medicine, and you could see him getting more erratic and I don't want to say irrational, but just like
listen to him,
just acting out, just being different.
Right. Listen to him talk on the Joe Rogan podcast. That was like a 4-hour episode, but if you get through half of it, you can kind of tell he just is constantly going. His brain is constantly working, and it does not stop. And it's constantly switching up subjects in his head. So I can kind of see why his production is getting a lot more choppy, or it switches content and or the beats very often within his newer albums.
All right,
that makes a lot of sense to me.
We've talked a lot about Donda and the crazy changes. Can we talk about Trippie Redd and how he used the same sample for an entire album?
It was like the same, I guess, loop, you would say. I mean, it was the same loop that was filtered through many different synths in every song. But essentially, every song was the same, like, like.
And the craziest part is Trippie Redd talks about the same shit in every song. So it's literally like he wrote 50 versions of the same song. Like,
and dudes are eating it up.
They love it.
Some 14-year-old is out there.
That's another
raging.
That's another Stan type fan base, I feel like.
Yes,
Yeah.
But it's not an overtly annoying cult.
No,
and
it's not as bad
large
as
enough.
it's not as bad as Lil Xan back in the day.
If you liked Lil Xan back in the day, I judged you then, and I still judge you now.
I like Lil Xan.
And I judged you for it.
No, I didn't like Lil Xan. I liked 3 songs by Lil Xan.
That's too many.
That's way too.
It wasn't too many.
That was 3 too many.
Can you give me? Can I give you a reason on why I didn't think it was too many?
You had bad taste.
The one song that I liked by Lil Xan, like really liked by him, was "Betrayed."
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. That shit was catchy. The other
You're betraying me right now.
The other 2 that I liked were just like really, really heavy bass, not saying shit Summer 17 music songs. I fucked with everything on a Summer 17. I loved Lil Pump. Favorite song in Summer 17 was Lil Pump's Molly.
Is Summer 17 gonna be like
Summer 17
the
won't
year
live up?
we always look back to?
No,
Oh my
Summer
God.
17 won't live up to the hype only because Summer 16 happened the year before.
People need to let 2016 go. We're like 5 years. Yeah, like 5 years removed from it. Grow up.
Yeah, but
you were 15.
It was the
you
last
were
time I
16.
felt safe.
I'm sorry you peaked then.
yeah, but Phil, like the old heads, they look back to what year is it? Like 1973 or something like that.
Right, they look back all the time.
They look back to the
But
same.
they're also looking back like, I don't know, 10, 20 years. The old heads, the dudes that are looking back on when they were that young, when they have to really reminisce. When I'm looking back, I don't know, a couple years, it's not like, I get the nostalgia, but people really
Phil, you said it's been 5-6 years, and what has been, it'll be shorter going forward than past. For us, 10 years ago for Summer 16 is going to be nostalgic, like you just said, and that's only 4 years away.
Yeah, it'll be.
So you're saying in 4 years I can jack off to Summer 16?
I'm saying it'll be more warranted then. I think there's nothing wrong with looking back on 2016 now, but the way people do it and how often people do it,
well, because it seemed like it started
is a little
wave.
much.
It did
seemed
start
like it started a
all
wave
the
of
music,
evolution in
I don't want to say all
rap
the music. I almost just got berated.
I would say a lot.
A lot of the music that comes out now is Summer 16, Summer 17 influence.
A lot of the artists that are really big now are from that summer. Like you look at the Uzis, the 21s, the Yachties, and all those those type of rappers.
Oh my god.
I would say I think Chance last big mixtape came out in 2016.
Yeah.
So a lot of I would say kind of trend setting things had happened that summer or that year period. So I feel like 2016 to 2017, a lot of big things, a lot of big names happened. And then 2018 was, I feel like everything kind of like fell apart. X just dropped his album, but then later in that year,
Was that 17 or
18.
18.
He dies. Mac dies that year. So a lot of bigger names.
There's a big what if that came from the summer 16 and 17.
Yeah.
because
And then people get inspired from that and kind of build off of it. That's why I'm saying like that kind of started a wave of new music that we now kind of socially accept.
Okay.
And was inspired from that kind of startup.
Because a lot of artists now, like, I'm not gonna say they all, but if you were to look, they're getting a lot of artists, a lot of younger artists are getting their influences from younger artists in the sense of they, like, instead of saying Pac, instead of saying Big, a lot of people are going to say Wayne. You're gonna hear a Boozy, and Boozy was like 2014. You hear Keith, you will hear people like that because that's what has inspired them. That is what it is. You'll hear Drake or a Kendrick or a Cole or something like that instead of a Nas or a
I honestly think that we talk about I talk about Nas a lot. People talk about Big and Pac. I honestly feel like Drake is going to be a 2-generational rapper. I think
He already is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, like, when we're older, I feel like our kids are still going to listen to Drake. I think they're going to listen to Drake more than we listen to Pac. Because I know I love me some Pac. I'll throw on some Big. I'll throw on some Pun. I feel like Drake is going to be more popular throughout 2, like, living generations. Not generations of music. I mean living generations. And I don't even fuck with Drake all like
listen,
that.
You know why? No, you know why?
Because he's never put out a bad song.
All right, my bad. You know why he's kind of right? Is kind of Drake has a lot of not just rap, but I mean he does sing. He does make a lot of pop.
Drake?
He makes a lot of pop music, and pop music, the really good pop music, kind of transcends.
Lives forever. And I'll be the first to hate on Drake, but every pop song that Drake has put out, every single that he's wanted to bust,
It's fun.
has done what it needs to do.
All I'm saying is, if you see your kids doing that stupid Hotline Bling dance, we told you so.
I think that was 2016.
Exactly.
Hey,
And I know when I'm bling.
that entire if you looked at that entire song and the meaning behind that entire song, it's
That music video
I relate
is so
to that.
goofy.
I relate to that so much in my life. Relate to that so much in the sense of you talking to somebody and then they usually just hit your line. You be like, hey, I know what time it is, and you know how you give it
Down
up.
for whatever.
And then next thing you know, they just don't hit the line no more like they used to. Now they out traveling. They going to Turkey. Sweet. Hey,
Turkey.
Hey,
Tyler-
her passport getting a little
Right.
bit
Tyler
full.
only fucks with exotic girls. Why are you judging my man?
He wants the foreigns and nothing else.
Exactly.
I like my
Yes,
cars
sir.
foreign. I like my women foreign. I like my food foreign.
I don't know.
I'm cool with whatever.
I like me a good little Texas steak now and then.
And now and then, but you can bring the straight Italian raviolis over whenever.
Hey, she.
Some-
I'm not gonna.
Chill,
Sorry,
bro.
I'm on demon
I'm
time
not-
right now.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
You know we're recording, right?
I know if you're hearing this, my Instagram is Big Comfy 440. DM me.
Wow. But no,
jeez.
I just feel like with that entire song, that song is I can just relate to that song. I relate to that song real heavy.
Like it's so goofy, it has to be transcendent.
I don't think the song is goofy.
No, the music video is goofy. Kind of like how we fuck with Rick Astley.
I don't think
because that music video
was
got
goofy.
turned into a meme. And
No,
it's kinda goofy.
no. That song is a meme. Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up. That song is a meme. I don't think that
So
the
is
music.
Hotline Bling. The music video is
No,
literally
it's-
a bling.
When you get rickrolled,
There is a very distinct difference between the meme itself, not just like the size and the longevity of the memes, but just like the context in which they were used. Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley and Rick rolling people is not really comparable to the Hotline Bling memes.
I don't think
Hotline Bling memes are still used. Rick Astley's
Not
Never
really.
Gonna Give You Up. Rickroll has kind of died off in the past.
no,
few
it
years.
is not. I just got rickrolled yesterday on
It is.
TikTok.
It
I was
is
hurt.
a cult classic, and it'll never truly die. But it is.
I
Not in the
unironically
mainstream.
love
Can
that
someone
song.
explain to me?
I love that song.
Can someone explain to me the Hotline Bling meme? I don't see how that's a meme.
It's the one where he's pointing and he's like, he's pointing
Yeah.
and he's
Oh.
like, I could have that, but then it's another image. And
There was
then
a few different memes that spawned from Hotline Bling, but none of them
he has a
that were
meme
as
format.
widespread or has had the longevity of any of the Rick Astley memes. Go ahead, sub in, Chris. Let's get some of your thoughts.
So, first things first, I'm a bit of a memer. I've been around the block a couple of times, and I can really dissect the Rick Astley, Rick Rolling compared to like the Hotline Blings. Yeah, Hotline Bling does have that meme format with Drake going like, nah, yeah, kind of thing.
And it's been reiterated in
Yeah,
so many
but do
different
you know
forms.
how long Rick Rolling has been going around?
true.
That's like OG memeing right there.
Yeah, it's way back.
That's way
that's
back.
before
so it's
memeing had a
instantly
name.
got longevity. And then also, it's like, as Phil said, it's not really comparable because it's two different things. Where one is just like, oh, I prefer red over blue. One is like, oh, here's a link to a cool video or a website or whatever. But fuck you, it's actually just a song.
I mean, that's just kind of, it was part of the old school, like funny email chain thing. Where it's like, oh, look at this super serious article. And then it's just a fucking,
it's like,
Rickroll.
The thing is, I feel like Rick Rolling is a lot more, I don't want to say complex because it's a meme, but it's got more legs to stand on because it's been around the block for so long and people still know what it is. That's a song from the 80s. And back then, I don't know how popular it was. I know it showed up in Family Guy. Maybe that's why people still know about it. But like when it came out and it like started pissing people off, it's still continually pissing people off or at least fooling with people.
Yeah.
So it's got
Just
that.
piss a lot of people off. There's a whole subreddit for Rickrolling.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, I don't think.
And another thing with Hotline
But think
Bling,
about it. If the Hotline Bling memes are still around for our kids,
and it's not
it's
even
kind of the same thing. It's just a different format.
Well,
It's
let me say
pictures instead
this.
of a
Let me say
video.
this. It's a picture. It's not the song. It's just a clip.
And that's
it's
and that's
two
the-
still
and
images
that is
from the music video.
That is the exact reason why I don't think that's a meme, because that entire song is a meme.
The only
they
thing
use
about-
the entire song as a meme.
The
That's
album
not
is a meme.
The main meme from Hotline Bling is the song and Drake doing his little goofy dance,
Yeah.
and then people add like tennis rackets in his hand or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's like where the meme with the song comes from. But like the song itself isn't a meme.
No, the music video is. It's just
I
images
barely,
from the music
I
video.
barely
don't
even
think
say
the
that. It's
music
just a
video's not a
couple of
meme.
clips of Drake dancing goofily.
There were memes
all
that
got
were
captured.
made from the Hotline Bling music video, but the music video itself was not the meme. It was just one or two clips that people, as Chris said, would
Yeah.
splice in random objects because of how he was dancing and stuff like
And
that.
that's
Like,
why I feel like
fucking
you can't
hilarious.
say that's a
So they're
meme like
not
Rick Astley.
super
Rick Astley,
comparable.
The Rick Astley meme is legit. The entire song is like a fucking joke. Like,
Yeah.
never gonna
Album,
give you
even-
up.
The two songs after the Rickroll is a song called "I'm Giving Up on You." He did that on purpose. He did that on purpose.
That's why Rickrolling exists.
Exactly.
Because Rick Astley is the original internet troll. Before the internet even came out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a
fucking
pro.
troll.
He's a pro, and everyone loves him for it.
He has a time machine. What do you think?
Real respects real.
I think he has a time machine. He went forward, he saw the opportunity, and created the album just for a fucking meme.
I don't
And he's
know.
made a lot of money, probably.
He has.
Oh,
off
he's
royalties.
made a killing
Oh my
over
God.
the years.
You get
It is
royalties.
still.
Hey, he's been like,
Still
wow,
going.
Y'all still like fucking with this meme, like shit. Like y'all made me bread. Y'all, hey, he bread it up. Hey, the kids don't gotta do nothing for the rest of their lives. Hey, if Ashley a part of your last name, you probably doing really good for yourself. And
Yeah.
good on you.
But the more crazy part is the amount of Rickrolling that's gotten passed around over the years. It's still not a top 10 viewed music video on YouTube.
I'm sure it was
That
at
is
one
crazy
point,
to me.
but it is not now.
But I'm about to say, like, depending on the artist, like people turn out quickly. Like if Kanye were to drop a music video for one of the songs
never
on
mind.
Donda, I'm pretty sure that would do crazy numbers. When 6ix9ine got out of jail, I think what was the song called? I really forgot.
Fifi or Kiki or
Not Kiki.
Gooba.
I think it
Gooba.
was.
I think it was
Was it Gooba? I thought it was Fifi with Nicki
Rickroll
Minaj.
has
No,
1
50
billion views.
50. Fifi did 50 is different. I know it's not Fifi because
That-
Fifi is a different Nicki song.
Okay.
Fifi, I know Fifi, and Fifi was on his album before he went to jail. But
went to
honestly, like when 6ix9ine got out, like that album, that video did instant numbers because they're like, okay, let's see what he's about to do. That's the first song.
Because he's a polarizing figure. Like that's
He
how,
is a polarizing figure.
That was that summer 16/17. You know, when did 6ix9ine come up?
Like 2017, 2018.
Because he's kind of part of that
Actually,
wave.
It might have been a little later than that.
He was part of that wave of weird equals numbers kind of thing.
Yeah, but that was the whole after effect of that like SoundCloud rap era of 2016, 2017, where the more colorful your personality was and the more kind of
aggressive your music was.
Yeah,
Because he I would say a lot of, my bad for cutting you off there.
Go on.
But I say a lot of, again, he made true mosh pit music. He made music that people could jump up. He made music that people could jump up and down to and like get real aggressive to.
People
I would
love
say
that shit.
Kiki, not Kiki, Gummo and songs like that. Like they were really aggressive and they did what they were supposed to do. So I think that with 6ix9ine, like again, like especially hip hop artists, when they drop a music video, the videos are doing instant numbers, like great numbers, not even just like little tiny things there.
I feel like music videos definitely get more views than the song off rip. Like if you, because there have been artists, a lot of artists don't drop music videos until after like they release their music, but people who drop the music video and the song at the same time, the music video automatically gets more spark.
Okay, speaking of music videos, I just looked up the top 10 most viewed music videos on YouTube. Holy shit.
Lay it on us.
Number 10 on the list has 3 billion views.
What is it?
Ed Sheeran, Counting Stars.
Oh, that's
Ed Sheeran made
unfortunate.
Counting Stars.
Why don't you?
I thought that was a One
These are-
Republic song.
These are different counting stars.
Ed
Okay.
Sheeran has 2 on this list. Thinking Out Loud.
That's sad.
That
makes
makes
sense.
sense. Thinking
Those
Out
are
makes a
his
lot of
2
sense.
biggest songs.
Hey, when
by
Thinking
far.
Out Loud came out, I was really out. Whew.
Hey,
That's
every
the song.
Because I feel like I don't know if it counts. I don't know if it counts the if you were to like look at how many people have played that at a
Wait,
wedding
my bad.
or
Number 10 is One
anything
Republic,
like that.
not Ed Sheeran.
Thank you. I was
See,
gonna
yeah.
say, yeah, One Republic
What-
was a
can
banger.
You,
We
can
played
you give
that
me
in
the
band.
top 3?
Top 3. All right. Well, number 1.
No, go
Oh,
3,
Yeah,
2,
go
1.
number
3 to 1.
3 to 1. All right. See You Again, Wiz Khalifa.
Paul Walker
Makes
just
sense.
died.
That makes sense. That
Yeah,
makes sense
okay.
to me.
Makes sense.
Number 2, Shape of You, Ed Sheeran. Homeboy
Oh,
killing
man.
it.
That was a banger.
5
Hey, that was a great
billion
video. That was
views.
a great video.
5 billion
That's a great
For
video.
number 2.
for number 2. You want any guesses to what number 1 is?
Yeah, hold on. Give us some guesses. Can we get a genre?
Okay, it's Latin American.
Oh, it's a
Well,
Bad Bunny song.
Despacito. Get the fuck
Oh,
out
Phil
of here.
got it.
Is it
I'm about
Despacito?
to say,
Despacito.
I'm about to say
Wait,
that
is
makes
it the
so much
Justin
sense.
Bieber remix or is it the original?
It's the original.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
A lot of Latin
Fonsi.
America.
It is the original.
A lot of Latin American music videos do really well in
And
the
Latin
States.
American is kind of international because there's so many people that
Fuck
know
with
that
it.
language
Speak Spanish.
around the
Yeah.
world. Exactly.
What did you say that
Or
Spanish is the
7
second
billion
English?
views.
A second.
Well, define
What do you mean
second
by that?
English.
It is like
Like
it's one of the most common languages. Like because America doesn't have a set language. All of us speak English, but like I know here in America,
I think it depends on where
most
you're at.
people speak Spanish. Even if you're not Hispanic, the more people know Spanish than any other language other than English in America. And that's not even counting like people who move here or people who were raised Hispanic.
You just think like the country as a whole.
I
Yeah.
feel like that there's very good reasons for that.
We have
Oh
Simply-
yeah, because of how
we have
close we
millions
are.
of people
Simply
immigrate
for
here
how
from
the
Mexico
borders
and,
shifted
yeah.
in the formation of this country, and then
We
the
stole
neighboring
land.
countries. I was gonna say because there was a lot of people who
That's-
just they didn't cross the border crossed them.
The
no,
Alamo.
no, that's true. But all the like
So
people in Spain don't really speak French. People in France don't really speak Spanish.
Because they all hated each other for thousands of years.
Bro, we fought 2 wars against Mexico. What are you talking
I
about?
feel like it depends. I think it depends on where you're going into. If you're going into business, I feel like a lot of business people would probably try to learn how to
That's
speak
true.
Chinese or
You
Mandarin.
know-
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
you know what I
because that's
feel-
where the market is at, and they need to kiss China's ass to get to that
okay,
fucking base.
currently, but also now that I'm like looking at it, I feel like America's also the hub to reach out to other countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people in America, like, okay, second language in America. In high school, I know I took German and Spanish. Tyler, what'd you take?
French.
What did you take, Phil?
I took German.
What did you take?
I regrettably took Spanish for 4 years
And
and,
then
barely know
Philo, you
anything.
took Spanish with me. So we learn a lot of different languages, but when I talk to international people, because I have a couple international friends, a lot of their like language classes, you learn one like business language like Mandarin or Spanish, but you also have an English class, and that's in your curriculum. So as to where we're the hub and we get to pick what language we want to learn, a lot of outside countries, if they don't already know English, they learn English as a second language.
Did you guys have to take foreign language in
Like
middle school and elementary school?
No.
I took Latin.
We took.
I had to.
Okay, so I went to
Why didn't you stick with Latin?
a very small Catholic school, and it was kind of a
Me too.
joke.
Yeah, me
It
too.
was a joke. Like, we didn't learn anything. By the time that my school had closed down and we pretty much all merged to the same school. We had to be almost separated as a class to get caught up to where the other kids were. And every year we had a Spanish class, and every year you learned what you learned last year because you didn't learn it last year.
100%.
It was a new lady every year with the same puppets.
Damn right,
With the
Phil.
same puppets.
Yes, we had this similar experience.
You know what I will say is a cool thing? As everyone knows, I went to Harvey. At Harvey, because there are a lot of Hispanic people. You guys know, you've met my Hispanic friends.
Mm-hmm.
At Harvey, there is French, there's Spanish, and I think that there's one more language that I don't know. Is it? Okay, so yeah, it's French and Spanish. But if you were a Spanish speaker, there is a Spanish for Natives class where they teach you completely proper Spanish. I think that's really cool. On the simple fact that, like, when I went to Lake Catholic, I don't want to say that it's cheating for foreign language, but, like, there were Hispanic kids who took Spanish because it was an easy grade for them.
They did that they had something similar, but for the Mandarin kids.
Yeah, they did that. Like, you couldn't take Mandarin if you were Chinese at Lake Catholic.
No, but they had like a, kind of a
Yeah, but they had, like,
Mandarin for natives, and then
Yeah.
right after that, they taught them English.
Yeah. But I think it's really cool that they had a Spanish for Natives class because though you can speak Spanish, you're not getting taught Spanish the same way we take an English class. Because, like, in English, you're like, why the fuck do I need to know this? I speak English. But, like, you actually learn something in English class. You learn how to sound professional. It's like a businessy thing. So I think that that's really cool that they implemented that because, yeah, you can speak Spanish, but can you speak it properly? Like, I know slang words and I don't speak Spanish. And I learned that from the Hispanic kids. And there were Hispanic kids that I saw struggled with the Spanish for Natives class. So I think that's a really cool thing that they did at my high school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of business, a lot of business talk. It's
And
nice.
especially in college, like I took a communications class. Their etiquette is basically, you have to conform to Asian customs.
Really?
Because like if you're doing international business, more than likely, they tell you you're going to be in Asia somewhere, whether it's the Philippines or mainland China, Japan. There's a lot of American companies that go back and forth between Asia and the United States. It's not.
Yeah.
They don't really teach you They teach you some European because they have to, some European customs, but it's mostly centered around Asian cultures.
Talking about business, real quick guess. What do you guys think Kanye's album numbers are going to be?
Not that amazing. I mean, it's gonna do numbers because it's Kanye, but like,
You think it's going to reach the top just because it's Kanye or no?
No.
Yes.
at number one.
Explain
on the charts?
top.
No.
Will it be on the top 100?
Let's
Yes,
look at
because
the
it's
top
Kanye.
albums right now.
Like,
I think it would be the highest selling. I don't
As
know.
of right now,
Yes.
Yeah.
Who else dropped?
if
in this
Drake
past-
drops tomorrow because Kanye dropped, he's gonna blow Kanye by double.
Oh yeah.
Don't think
He's
Drake.
gonna eat Kanye
don't
alive
think
in
Drake
terms
is
of
dropping.
He's gonna
streams,
dog Kanye.
album sales.
I
honestly,
honestly-
Drake will have to really fumble if he is to make a worse
And he
album than
can't.
Donda.
I've never seen Drake fumble.
It would have
I've
to
seen
be
Drake
a
have
chance
one
big day kind of
mediocre
fumble.
album. I wouldn't even call it a bad album.
What,
One-
More Life?
Yeah, and that's
Okay,
mediocre.
okay.
That's mediocre. And I would say More Life is better than Donda. And I'm the first to hate on Drake. I really
I
don't
would
see
put
Drake.
them on the same scale.
I really don't see Drake fucking up at this point.
I don't know. Supposedly,
Kanye could definitely bull rush the top albums.
What are the top albums out right now?
Billie Eilish is number one.
man,
That's the only one that might give
Billie-
him some
I
trouble.
would
The
say
intern
Billie's
said that
been
Donda
out.
is number one on Apple Music right now.
Doesn't
But
really
that's
mean
just because it
anything.
came out today.
This
Yeah.
is the official Billboard charts.
Okay, official Billboard. Let me read it.
So number 2 is The Killers. Kanye can definitely
Probably outsell the Killers.
outsell The Killers.
Dan
What are
and
the
Shay.
Dan and
numbers?
Shay, they're
What
a
are the
country,
numbers
they're
on
a country
those?
duo.
There's
What are the
no
numbers?
there's
This
no
is a
there's
great
no numbers on
question,
there.
Tyler.
Well, Billboard does a very bad job of giving you the numbers.
Or does it depends on the
doesn't really give you
on the number
wait, hold on.
number of those sales, because I think Kanye could easily clear just off the anticipation, off the people like us who like really study music and who like really fucks with music heavy.
Billboard
I think
does a
Kanye,
shit job with analytics.
Okay, whoa, but
Billboard's
hear me
kind
out.
of a shit everything.
Hold on, hear me out here. I wouldn't call you a Kanye stan anymore, but you're a very big Kanye supporter.
Yeah.
Are you going to revisit Donda?
I will at least. I go through like anytime a big album comes out or some album that I find that I really want to examine or give a fair chance, I'll put it through a trial period where I'll at least, I'll work it into the music I'm listening to. It won't be the only thing I listen to, but I'll give it a 2-week trial period to see if I truly enjoy the album.
The reason that I ask this is because if Billy is number one,
Mm-hmm.
if Kanye stans aren't putting Kanye on repeat the same way that they used to, I think Billy stays number one and Kanye gets number two till Drake drops.
I think
I could see that happening.
think-
I don't know if
Because
that will,
Billy-
but it's a possibility.
I haven't even listened to the whole Billy album yet, and it's still on my to-do list. But I know people who are really big Billy fans, and they only play that, and that's probably her worst project yet.
Yeah, honestly,
I
it's-
heard a lot of criticisms for that album, and I only listened to it twice, but I did not think it was as bad as some people made it out to be. Although I would agree that it is her weakest project to date.
Her debut album was just so good that it was going to be hard to top.
Yeah.
I'm not
True.
going to lie.
Lil Nas X is gonna blow those numbers out.
Lil
of the water.
Nas X's album is going to be number one for a while.
Yeah.
He's gonna
longer
break
than
debut
most.
album records that are
Yeah.
gonna be hard.
I'm not
to
going to lie.
follow.
I have not heard a bad Lil Nas X song. Even if it's not like lyrically talented, even if the production isn't the greatest, I have not heard a bad Lil Nas X song.
Yeah. I'll co-sign that.
Tyler, why are you looking at me crazy? Give me some insight. I'll let you finish.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I understand Lil Nas does all this, but I don't think he's breaking no records.
You don't think
Oh,
he's
I
breaking
think he's-
debut album
I-
records?
no.
I
He
No.
is Drake level pop star right now.
He would throw
You
Drake
are-
out of whack
You are
in terms
right.
of numbers
Okay,
when he
so
drops.
if we're
but
talking
Drake would
about
take the
numbers,
spot back.
if you're
Yeah.
talking about numbers, how much do you think that? How much do you think he would sell first week?
I
a
couldn't,
lot,
I
like a
couldn't
fuck
give you
ton.
I couldn't give you an estimate
Metric
because I don't
ton.
know numbers. I don't know this
The
and that. I
problem
don't keep up
is
with that.
with music is that they separate everything.
yeah.
I would
So
say
streams, he's going to fucking
he's
destroy.
gonna dog in streams.
The
Oh my
radio,
gosh.
he's going to destroy.
But
I wouldn't say
Billboard
no.
puts all that together. though.
Drake gets the radio. I'll give Drake the radio over Lil Nas, but
Yeah.
streams he blows them out. If you put
I don't-
streams and radio together, Lil Nas X still wins. But
So
separately,
are you saying like 390, 500?
I don't know the numbers, but what I'm saying is I feel like if Drake and Nas
Like all
X,
together, like everything together, like 500 would be like 500,000.
I don't know numbers. I literally don't know what albums
Let's
do
just say
as-
this.
we don't know what numbers are good, Tyler.
But what I'm saying is that if Drake and Lil
If
Nas
he's
X
a-
drop the same day,
If
Lil Nas
he-
X would win.
If he's a top tier artist, top tier
What
artist.
does
probably
Drake do on a good album?
on a good album? I think his last album was like 290 or 300.
I give based off those numbers, I give Lil Nas X 350, 340, because his singles are bussing. His singles are bussing the same way Drake's are. He just releases less.
Yeah. And I feel like that does.
It helps him a lot
does
when it
help
comes
him.
to album work, because this will be his debut studio album.
Mhm.
That last song, the last track list he gave us was an EP. This will be his first studio produced album.
yeah, and that's
That is a big deal.
It's a
And-
debut album.
And
It's
anyone who drops singles and is hot and gives us a day one studio album blows the water away. Look at Billy. If you go back in time, look at Nas, Illmatic, off the simple fact that his single work was going crazy. So I think maybe if he did a second album, he might fumble like Billy did, but his first studio album is going to
Industry
go crazy.
baby.
So hold on,
So-
real quick. So I just looked it up. Drake's first week sales. This is not for Scorpion, but this is for Views. Views did 852 first week of release.
I think Billy.
Eight-
Did Billy
852.
did Billy
yeah, but
clear that
what,
her
what,
first?
What are those numbers, Tyler?
850. What do you mean?
Are those radio numbers or?
There's everything.
Everything. Can
Everything?
you look up what Billy's first album did?
Yeah, I got you. Say less.
Because like looking at his streams, even just on Spotify,
He's
Montero
wrecking it.
has almost 1 billion streams.
It's a great song.
Old Town Road has 1.2 billion streams.
To be fair,
That's the
Old
remix.
Town Road had
still,
a couple of
how many
memes
artists
and
do
a
you
lot of
know?
little kids listening to it. In the same way that, like,
But that's why it's
But
gonna break
music is
records.
music the same way we talked about Travis Scott's Fortnite concert. Streams are streams. It doesn't matter who they're coming from.
So
If I annoy my mom to put the song on, it's on.
that's
like,
a stream.
Right, like they count
Okay.
They count Coco Melon as a fucking YouTuber on YouTube.
Yeah.
who's Coco Melon?
It's
Coco
a
Melon
they literally
is
make
is
nursery
children's
rhymes.
entertainment kind
You
of
know the
brand.
Coco Melon.
It's terrible.
Ding, ding, ding.
I have two nieces, and I have been subjected to many a Coco Melon. I
Those
hate
gonna
it.
Hurt
Oh,
somebody.
and
So-
Ship just put that. Parents just put that on for the kid and put it on repeat, and they
It's
constantly
terrible.
get views.
It's like
So
It's gonna
I
fuck
just looked
kids
it
up.
up. I just looked it up. Billy did 275 first week for her first album, When We Fall Asleep. So I just think personally, I think Kanye first week. I think Kanye probably could clear probably
probably clear Billy.
470, 475. I think he could do like 475. So 4,750. 4,775,000 album. I think he could get that many sales. So that will combine streams, radio plays, all that. I think he could easily sell all. I think he can hit 475. I think when Drake drops, he'll be looking for that.
He's laughing right now.
He'd be looking probably for 8, if not. I think especially if this album is good first week, I think he'd easily probably hit a million album sales first week. And for Lil Nas, I know because everything's kind of popping right now. I think he could do 325
That
first
crushes
week.
any debut album that ever existed, though.
Don't think that's true. You have to go back to the numbers. You have to look highest selling debut, because Billy did 275 her first week. I don't think he's gonna. I don't know. I don't think that he's going to sell that much first week. I think he'll do what a typical.
I think first week
He has
for him
too
would be
many
better.
Twitter stands.
First week would be better for him than anything else. And I don't know if you guys are on TikTok like I am. Every video he posts, 1, goes viral because he's a celebrity. 2, he uses his own music for. So if you're counting all-time streams, TikTok streams count now. And TikTok
They
is
do?
linked to Apple Music. Yeah, TikTok streams count now.
Ooh,
If you go
that
to
is a big game
if
changer.
you go to somebody that's verified, and I just learned this, you can go into their profile, not only see their videos, you can see what music they have released. And when you go in to see what music they've released, you can press on the sound, and you can either use that sound or you can go to Apple Music if you have it downloaded.
Well, Lil Nas X's competition to get number 1 is 18 million sold on a
By
debut
Guns N'
album.
Roses.
Guns N'
number
Roses.
2? I don't think he's gonna hit 18 mil.
That's probably like all
Number
together.
2, Boston, 17 million.
That's probably
copies.
all together. That's not
I
probably
don't know if he's-
first week.
That's
sales.
throughout
either
the
of
whole
those.
life of the album.
I'm about to say, I don't think Guns N' Roses sold 18 million first week, because
Not first
if
week.
they sold 18 million first week, they deserve a little
Hootie
bit
and the
more
Blowfish,
respect
16
on their
million
name.
sold.
But
Whitney Houston, 15.
if you look
I
at
think
it,
these are first year numbers. He'll definitely break.
I think he'd do good first year, but I don't know about first week. I think he'd get a slow rollout, but he'd get it going eventually.
Industry Baby popped off immediately.
yeah.
Montero popped off immediately. The only one that had to build steam was Old Town Road.
And it only built steam because of the genre change. And as soon as Billy Ray got on it and they did what they
And they
wanted
murdered
to do,
it?
they murdered it. Country fans are still mad about that.
Chris Felo, if you make music, you like music, could you come over, just a picture input in on how you feel? How you feel about this first week numbers?
Because I don't know shit about what you guys are talking about.
Neither do we.
So
All right.
I'm just asking, if you could, what would you think that the first week numbers would be for?
Well, I don't know what standard first week numbers are. I don't really pay to
Yeah,
what I
that's
said.
the biggest
Okay,
issue here.
so
Who do you think he would do better than?
I do.
okay.
Against who?
Anyone.
not against anyone. I think for his stature, for where he is in his career, I would say he's where
I'll ask you
I will
questions.
tell you my opinion on Lil Nas X. I think he is very talented. I think he's
Overhyped.
got a load of potential.
overplayed.
And I am interested to see where he will take his music career and what he will make.
Will
Chris,
not last that
What?
long.
Is he cute?
Yeah, he's cute.
All right, good.
Yeah, he's cute. He's a handsome
it's
man.
cool.
Tyler, is he cute?
No,
Yeah, Tyler, is he cute?
no.
He kind of looks like
That's
you,
sus
but
as hell,
cuter.
Tyler.
That's
Just
cat.
way cuter.
Celebrity already, and he hasn't even released an album.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, Nasdaq is
If
really
anyone's got the uncensored shower scene, hey, don't judge me, but DM me. I said my Instagram earlier.
I don't know. I guess we'll see what it is, but thank you for coming. It's been a great time. Well, thank you for listening to the Ohio Boys. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube. Also follow us on SoundCloud and make sure you stay notified, stay up to date with everything. If you want to, follow us on our personal socials so that way you can get a better date of when we do drop. You can
see what the fuck we're up to. You listen to us talk for 2 hours at a time, you might as well see what the fuck we're doing during the day.
Maybe if you want to. I'm boring.
Post. Don't follow me, please.
But yeah, it's been a nice little journey. It's been Tyler.
Yeah, it's been real. What's up? Deuces from Phil.
Later. Mark.
Yeah, it's Xavier. Shout out to everyone who came to the 90s show last night. Fuck with y'all heavy. Thanks for listening to number 5, baby.